What began as peaceful protests across Los Angeles on Sunday once again turned violent as marchers broke through a police line and blocked off a major highway in the latest flashpoint against a surge of government immigration raids across the city. Flags and chants met with tear gas, stun grenades and rubber bullets. Dozens of people have been detained in 3 days of protests.
Y'all told us to come here for opportunity. We came, and then now it's like, oh, you have to leave. But when I was the working class, y'all loved me.
Hours of standing on.
And if the police say their use of rubber bullets was targeted at protesters, watch this moment when an Australian reporter was broadcasting live.
Moving them on through the heart of LA.
She was one of several journalists injured in chaotic scenes as masked protesters set fire to cars and hurled rocks at police. Donald Trump stands accused of deliberately stoking the chaos by deploying 2,000 National Guard troops without the standard request or approval of the state governor, Gavin Newsom, Trump's old Democratic foe.
Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act.
It's the first time in 50 years that a president has bypassed a governor to deploy the U.S. military to the streets. And Newsom is now suing the Trump administration for precisely that. But the president was defiant today.
I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail.
The protests began on Friday after immigration agents began sweeping raids across Los Angeles with people being handcuffed and loaded into unmarked vehicles. The response from residents was swift, not least because a third of the city's population are immigrants, many Latino, and its status as a sanctuary city should offer them some protection from authorities. But for Trump, remember, it's exactly this hardline stance on immigration that helped win him the election, so he's not backing down. Creating the perfect storm that last night continued well into the early hours as the standoff escalated and protesters threw fireworks and projectiles at police.
You can really feel the tension in the air. A group of people have just smashed into a building behind me. Not long before that, there was tear gas thick in the air. Up that street, there was a huge bonfire. And we've all had a text on our phones to clear the area because there is an unlawful assembly. But as you can see, nobody is doing that.
My parents, Salvadorian. My grandma, Salvadorian.
Many of the protesters were young Latinos who say they're being unjustly targeted.
We put in work. We wake up at 5 in the morning just so we could get some money, just for us so we could get better.
And you just feel that they're arresting people just off the street?
They don't understand what it is to be a hard worker.
It's not fair. These people, they work hard and then they get kicked out all because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong papers, and it's not okay. It's not fair.
Why are we being treated like this?
Why are we treated like this?
Is it not the land of the free?
But the land of the free doesn't necessarily chime with Trump's America First deportation strategy that demonizes the very people that help make this city and this country what it is.
Well, Nick Stern is a British photographer who was shot with a plastic bullet while covering the unrest in Los Angeles. He joins us now from hospital, where he's recovering after emergency surgery to remove the round from his leg. Nick, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It must be very painful. Can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, I was out there from mid-afternoon photographing the protests against the ICE raid at a local Home Depot centre. There were projectiles coming from the sheriff's department. They were firing flashbangs. They were firing rubber bullets, plastic bullets, pepper bullets. And the crowd were responding by throwing bottles of water, bits of concrete, and so on. Later in the day, around 9 o'clock, I was photographing from behind a group of girls, in fact, a group of people that were flying Mexican flags. It looked a great photo because it was illuminated by the vehicles in front. And I suddenly felt this incredibly painful impact on my leg. I staggered away, felt incredibly faint, staggered away, shouted I'd been hit, and was helped away by some of the protesters who literally carried me away, sat me down on the curb for a medic to do first aid on my leg.
And plastic bullets are supposed to sort of bounce off, but this one has gone in.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this bullet was. Generally, the plastic bullets have a hard foam front end, about half the size of a golf ball. And the idea is they should be fired on the ground in front of a crowd. They lose some of the momentum and then bounce up and cause the people to move back for fear of being hit. But it looks like this one was fired directly into my leg. It's a solid plastic bullet as well. I don't know whether it was some kind of explosive that didn't go off or it had previously gone off, but it's a hard plastic shell and it penetrated straight into my leg.
I mean, and it's left a big hole by the sound of it.
Yeah, at the moment, let me just show you if I can. It's about a 5 centimetre hole. It's got a drain pipe coming out of it at the moment. And it goes in about an inch as well, which is pretty deep. The projectile actually embedded into my muscle, so it had to be removed.
I mean, I know you're very experienced, and I mean, you've actually been hit before, haven't you? From what you saw, the way the security forces were behaving and trying to control the crowd, I mean, did it feel like they were sort of shooting randomly or targeting people? I mean, there's another video of an Australian journalist being, hit, shot at today. I mean, do you think they were shooting at you or just shooting at anything?
Christian, I always make sure that I'm very visible as a press representative. I wear a press card around my neck and a lanyard. I always make sure I hold my camera so it can be seen. I'm not hiding behind vehicles or lampposts or lights or things like that. Now, that up to that point had assured me that I was safe. People identified me as being press, but I was doing exactly the same when I was hit. So whether it was a random shot or whether it was targeted, and if you see the video of the Australian reporter getting hit, I mean, that's got to be targeted, I would say, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, with the National Guard being called in and the threat of Marines, I mean, this could obviously get much worse and more violent. I mean, will that keep the press away, do you think, for fear?
I don't think so. You know yourself, as press, you're there to document. There's such a significant change in the United States. We've got to be out there documenting what's going on. My assumption is, and it's just my opinion, I don't think we're far away from military or law enforcement shooting live bullets over the heads of people to start with. I think we're not far from that at all.
Well, get well soon. Nick Stern, thank you very much.
Thank you.